Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our call for tonight. And I think I'm fully moved into my PC, so I should be able to see you properly, and hopefully you can see me. And okay, thanks, Santu. Good to see you. And so let's go ahead and dive in and any questions that you might have, let's write them in the box. I really don't have anything prepared this week, so I'm not going to pontificate. I'm going to pontificate on Mondays. So that's when I'm going to train, but I want to have this open for you. So if you have anything that you've been trying to do, or you want me to take a shot at it and see if I've got, maybe a different perspective than maybe you've heard, I'm happy to do that. That's really what this is for. And one thing I will tell you is that um, the direction that we are going is, uh, um, let's see, I got a question here from Santu. Is there any way we could speak instead of write, which takes so long? Yeah, there are actually two um, real easy to use, I think really cost effective ways to do it. One is Microsoft Word, and the other one is Google Docs. Now, if you're a Microsoft Word user, it's right inside of Microsoft Word. And in fact, I think I can share my screen. I can show you. Let me kind of move some stuff around here, and I'm going to open up. Let me share my screen. I'll turn my screen on here. And then let's open up Word. Word automatically changes. Okay, so one. Word couldn't. Okay, so let's open up Word. And I don't care about that. Let's cancel that. Let's click save. Okay, whatever. Okay, so in order to write, let's see, I think that we go to insert, and let's see, where is that? Oh, it's dictate. So we would go here, and let me see how figure out how to turn on dictate. Okay, so I turn on autosave, and then there's dictate. So we'll just go here to Microsoft Word, and then we will dictate. Okay, so we are going to dictate to Microsoft Word, period, new line. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their country, period, new line. There are 7 different ways in order to create a marketing system, period, new line. One of those ways is to create a unique selling proposition, period, new line. Another way is to make sure to have upsells and cross-sells, period, new line. Okay, so you get the idea. So you could do it. I'm gonna turn it off now. So you could do it, and it did a pretty good job, right? So let me size up the text. All right, so that's not bad rendition of what I did. Now, like with everything else, right? Oh, you meant right now on the webinar. So is there a way that you could speak instead of write? Oh yeah, sure. I think I can unmute you. So if you have a question, I think I can unmute you. So I thought you were talking about dictation. So let me see. How would I do? I think I can just go to you and I guess I can enable you. Is it audio? Uh, I think if I go to the attendees and I can turn you on. Right, it says you're self-muted, Santu. I think you have to unmute yourself. So I'm trying to turn you on here. Attendee is self-muted and is muted by an organizer. Okay, let's see if I can just send unmute request.
Thank you. I think we've done it.
Okay, we got it.
Can
Okay,
you
go
hear
right
me?
ahead. Yep,
Yeah,
I can hear you fine.
I didn't know how to unmute myself, but when you sent something, there's a little button I could press, and then I was able to unmute. So thank you very much.
Yeah, right on.
So I
So
have three questions, if that's
mhm,
all right to ask them in succession.
you can ask
Um,
them. It's now, this is a 57-year-old brain, so I can probably only follow one at a time.
no, of course I will ask it one at a time. No problem. No problem. Um, so I was at a kind of free webinar training by a man who is he's promoting himself as a coach, but clearly his niche is kind of sales and marketing. And he was saying that he found the best approach that he's used in the past is to do Facebook ads.
Mhm,
And I've heard other people saying, well, you don't really need to do Facebook ads until you're kind of like well into your business and you're earning like 30,000 or something. It's very hard for newbies to be putting out Facebook ads. And he's recommending 300 to 500 for a 14-day campaign. And I'm like,
mhm,
gosh, that's quite steep. So
mhm.
I know you're the man. You are the man. And you know all
Thank you.
sorts of stuff. And I wanted to check it out with you, whether he's just, spewing crap and get your take on something that's realistic because he doesn't sound realistic in what he's promoting.
Right, yeah. Well, with Facebook ads, I think what he meant,
Hmm.
and here's where I would agree with him. If you have an offer that you know is working, and you know the numbers, and you know that if you send X number of a certain kind of people to this offer, it's pretty much going to convert, then
Hmm.
that's when you start to look to scale up in terms of ads. But you kind of have to know that an offer is working,
Of
and you
course.
have to, yeah, and you have to
But
know.
my question is, if you don't know, is it a good idea to like gamble your money away on Facebook ads if you haven't done any testing before? Because
I do
500 is
not.
a lot of money. Huh?
No, no, no. There are a lot of other ways to get free traffic, right? So if you're going to spend, let's say, $200, and let's say that you're going to market to um, a specific audience, you'd almost be better working with someone who has a list and building a relationship with someone who can send an offer to that list. Because let's say that, even if you paid that person $100 for that privilege, you probably wouldn't. But let's say that
Mm,
you paid that person X number of dollars to send what is effectively a
mm,
solo ad, right? Now I know
hmm.
that's got some bad connotations, but let's say you came to me and you said, "Well, I've got an offer that I know is specifically for video PLR creators," and I might say, "Okay, well that might fit." And I might say, "Okay, just for the privilege, I might ask you for $100 up front." I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Then that's $100 that that
Mm,
when it goes, that offer is going someplace. It has an opportunity to convert, and then you're going to use that to try to figure out what your metrics
mm,
are, right? So until you know what your metrics are for a specific page, you'd almost be better off finding someone who's got a list in the area where you want to send, and then
mm,
doing what you have to do to get that person to send that offer. The other thing, of course, you could spend, let's say, $100, $200 to get yourself on a podcast where that person has that audience that when you mention, hey, I've got this thing and I got this, it'll do all these things in a specific niche, that's a better spend because then those people are going to come to an opt-in page, right? And they're going to see an offer. So you can present that person with an opt-in page and offer. Now the thing is, it works slower, so it doesn't work as fast as a Facebook ad would. You're going to know right away when you spend $500 or whatever you spend, and know right away whether or not you're making money or not. I would not spend it until I knew I had an offer that I know if I put that kind of money in, that money's going to come back to me. And then probably the last, most important part of that whole process is you also have to know that your funnel is going to convert, because you're not going to make any money on the front end. Let's say you eat up everything on the sale. Well, you got to have a pretty good back end, because that's where you're going to clean up anything, any inefficiencies in your advertising process. So let's say you're still figuring it out, then you got a big back end, right? And somebody comes and they buy something for I don't know, $500, $200, $2,000. Well, then you haven't lost anything because you got one conversion that kind of cleaned up that whole process. So to sum up, I would say that there are better ways to spend when you don't know whether or not an offer is going to convert. Second, if you're going to use Facebook ads, you do need to know that offer is going to convert. And then third, you do have to have a significant funnel, because the significance and the big back end cleans up any inefficiencies until you figure it out what's happening with the ads. That would be my answer.
That's great. Thank you. That's really
Second
helpful.
question.
Second question is, do you know of any softwares that can create not really quizzes, but more like an assessment, a self-assessment where people can tick off, go, yep, 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 and around kind of mental health issues where they can say, yeah, I need some help.
Yeah, I just ran into something,
Cool.
and I don't know if I can find it, because what I've been doing is I've been thinking about. I know that Laura and I, we're going to do something with leadership, and we're going to probably create an assessment. So I'm going to see how to create an assessment. That's where I did the search.
And I bet you used
And
AI for that search, did you?
actually, no. Now, I don't know how much this costs. I will say, here's the best alternative that I saw. Now, I'm guessing you're going to have a little scratch to do this, but I don't know because I didn't really look at it. So I'm just going to put the URL in here. Um, and they kind of specialize in this. They have a lot of content about, the benefits of doing an assessment. Now, what I will also say is to the answer to your question you just asked, yes, I did use AI, and I should have a chat someplace where and this thing does not search. I need to figure out how to search this. But I have a search in here about creating an assessment tools without coding. So let's see, if you ask, what is the question I asked? Now I went round and round with this thing. What's the best way to create an assessment tool without knowing how to code? So if you go in and you ask that question, I think they give 5 ways to do it: Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, something called Quizlet, which I haven't heard of, Typeform, Microsoft Forms, and then Kahoot. But those are just kind of like placeholders. I guess if you kind of know the perspective of what the assessment is going to do, there are ways to put this together. Now, obviously, if you put it together with Google Forms, it's not going to work the same as if you get an off-the-shelf solution that you white label, where somebody goes in, does an assessment, they answer the, I guess it's Likert scale question, and then they get a score at the end. and then you say, well, hey, if you got 87, then
Mm-hmm.
you're this kind of person. This is what you should do. And if you got
Mm-hmm.
a 95, then you're this kind of person. And this is what you should do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some of these assessment tools, what they do is they'll send you to the place. They'll just send you to 87, right?
Right.
That you could probably program that, and ChatGPT could probably tell you how to do that if you're interested. But that probably take a while. You or SurveyMonkey, right? So SurveyMonkey could probably do that, right? Where you know the content, you're just going to have it so that I think it's called conditional logic, where
Mm-hmm.
it's based on the conditions, and you say if person X
Yeah.
gets 87 total, send them to this page.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you white label, let's say SurveyMonkey, so it doesn't have to be SurveyMonkey,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you could probably do it that way. So I think it's either, yeah,
What did you? I may have misheard, but did you say something like liquor score or something?
a Likert scale. So Likert scale is kind of like um, uh, likely, not likely, neutral, unlikely, very
Oh,
unlikely. So
right.
yeah, so you kind of go in that. You probably have that scale, and you give people opportunity to say, because you get a better quality answer from a simple question than if you just said, are you feeling good? As opposed to asking them, do you feel real good? Do you feel kind
Yeah.
of good? Are you
Yeah.
neutral? And so yeah, and so typically you probably ask a I think five point Likert scale. I think
Yes.
Jim Landers is saying 7 points. And that could be. I think maybe in education, he's in education. That could be. Um,
Well,
we're being
I've
trained
never
in.
seen seven. I've never seen
Yeah,
seven. Where are you getting that from?
right. Yeah. See, we're being trained now, Laurel and I, that 5 points is ideal.
Mm,
And one in the middle, two on the ends. But
hmm.
either way,
Yeah.
right? You're basically giving people an opportunity to qualify their answers where you get a better quality from one question that you're asking.
Yeah, for assessments, I would not be asking open questions, maybe at the end, but you want them to just tick, 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 because they want to get through it quickly as an assessment, and then say, call me for a discovery call. I never
Right.
call it a discovery call, but call me, if your score is high, and we'll discuss it further. Because they don't want to be like reading copious pages to get an in-depth analysis from a piece of paper. They'd much rather, I think, have that personal touch and have a conversation with you once they realize they need help.
Right. What I saw recently was, and it's not necessarily super innovative, but every page had a video. Person comes on
Oh.
and says, "Hey, you know, you're in
Mm,
this range, and here are all the things that I'm seeing about you. Here's some things you can read. The best parenting thing to do is to call me, and you write down, here's my schedule, and then you kind of click in there, and when they click in there to schedule you, in order to get an hour, it costs them, right? So every page has an
mm,
answer, right? When they get to that page, they click on something, and I guess the process of getting them all the way to that point where they're going to get an answer, like they're going to get some help with this issue, and then they got to decide whether or not they're going to pay. But it's almost like if you send them to a sales page, they've got enough room to say, I'm not going to do it. But if you lead them so that they know, well, hey, this person understands, I've done the assessment, I've gone all the way to the end, and now the only thing between me and getting some help with this issue that I've identified is, $500, $497. Some people, it's not a lot of money. They'll hit that button, and they will go ahead and drop that $97.
So, are you saying to, like, after the video says you can read some books, or you can join my mastermind or something like that, um, that they will buy there, or are you suggesting get them on a sales call first and then sell them the program?
Well, I would definitely get them on a sales call if I can. And
Okay.
if they choose not to go forward, then yeah, I mean, then you want to downsell them into like a mastermind. You want to downsell them into something else. But if the most profitable thing for you is going to be that they spend an hour with you, and that hour is going to cost them $497, and you're really going to help them there, then that's going to be the first offer. Now you could go the other way, right? You probably have to test it where the first entry, if they don't know you, the first entry is going to be they get your course. And that course is going to be, a low dollar amount, whatever low is to you. And then once they're in the course, you can then say to them, well, hey, some of you are going to really want my help one-on-one. And so if you really want my help one-on-one, you can then sign up and you tell them, well, hey, now that you're in this course, right? Everybody else outside of the course, you're going to have to pay X, but because you're inside of the course, this is going to be. You give them a break on the price because they've already taken that first step with you, and they kind of trust you a little bit. And if they've gone through your course, they then know that, well, I resonate with Santu. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna book a call with her, right? So I think you got to test both.
Right.
Bring them to the page, and then give them the offer. And then if it seems like that's just not working, they're turned off, or you're getting questions that kind of make you feel like, okay, well, I don't want to do this. Then let them buy into something low dollar. Let them get a Kindle book. Let them get an audio book. Let them get an ebook, or better, an information product where they can hear your voice. And then
Mm-hmm.
inside the information product, right inside of a member area where everybody else, but nobody else can see the offer. Because the problem with putting it inside of a Kindle book or an audio book is that everybody's get to see the offer. But if they get inside an information product and it's behind a paywall, you can then say to them and give them a discount for taking that step with you.
Okay. I think I got it. Um, so for each video page, whatever answer they give and whatever result comes up, either I sell them a $497 program, like a coaching program or something, or I offer them something low, like an ebook or an info product, maybe a meditation or something to help them with a specific product, and then invite them to come to a mastermind or a coaching program or something like that, right?
Right. See, my comfort level is, I mean, as a trainer, is to get someone into a product, because that's because I'm going to try to step people up
Yeah,
that way, right?
yeah,
And so if you're more introverted, right? Because I probably would not do a sales call because I'm introverted.
yeah,
So that would not be my thing. But
yeah.
some people are good at that, right? If you're kind of a closer kind of person,
Nope,
and
I'm
and
not.
those right, okay, well, no, that's good. It's good to know that.
Yeah, yeah,
If you're
yeah,
there's some people can make that work just by getting people on a call. I That's not me. And so I'd
yeah,
rather step people up by getting them into something that's going to be in my area of expertise where I can wow people, and then try to step people up that way. So, and some people are not a trainer, but even though they're introverted, some people are more like good maybe in a small group. And so if that's where you're really going to wow
yeah,
them, you got to try to
mm,
put them into a small group program
yeah,
where they see you helping other people, because some people don't do well teaching person to person. So
hmm,
if you could get people, let's say if you're a small group person, the benefit of doing that, because I've seen people that are really good where they're helping somebody else,
yeah,
and because they help somebody else,
yeah.
the other people watching that are wanting to take that next step to them.
Yeah, I've been a group facilitator for 25 years, and that really is my niche. I love small group discussions and facilitating that, as well as giving info products. But really, group facilitation is my thing. And that was going to be my other question. That can I like? I've seen what it takes to make a course, and I'm like, oh my God, just the thought of making a course is overwhelming, and I just want to skip that whole process, and I just wanted to maybe show them a webinar and then get them into a small group so I can do facilitation with them.
Mhm.
But I know that, marketers will say the process is lead magnet, webinar, course, then upscale them to a mastermind after they do the course or a high ticket coaching product. And I want to skip the course. Is that going to be like is that a bad move?
Well, it's really what you're comfortable with and the way people resonate with you. So if you can get enough people to kind of hear you, where you're going to be teaching people and you can send them to a sales page based on the training itself or
Mm-hmm.
based on the podcast episode itself. Blog post is kind of hard. People don't read and then go, right? Nobody reads anymore. But if you could get them, I again, I always uh, default to some kind of workshop. Because from a workshop, you can go any place. You can send people to a sales page, right? With the replay, you can send people to from the sales page from a training straight to the checkout page. A lot of people do that because they're because the webinar itself is the sales page for some people. Now, if you're not going to make it a direct response kind of deal, and it's going to be a training, then that's something you have to try and but typically if you're going to send people from a training to the checkout page, I think that needs to be direct response. That's got to be. I think there are a number of people who have these things. I think Russell Brunson kind of he's taken all of the methods and boiled it down into what he calls perfect webinar, right? And he's not the person who pioneered it. He's just the person that, as I say, he codified it and he put it into a process. That is classic direct response. I don't do direct response webinars, right? So this is what I do because I don't. If I were to do that in the PLR market, it would just not go over all that well. I could do it outside of this market, right, and teach people how to create PLR. I don't want to do that. I don't want to sell the business model. So, but I think that if you want to just kind of skip the course,
Mm-hmm.
then you go direct response, right? And that's where you kind of, hey, I'm Santu, and hey, here's my experience, and here's what happened
Mm-hmm.
to me, and here's what happened to some of the people that I work with, that whole deal. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just it is a method that has worked with everything. It works with infomercials. I think I have this thing up here. I don't know if I have it up here. Um, where's this thing? This thing. This thing came out in. This thing came out in when did it come out? It came out in 2008 or 2009. Guy did. His name was Mike Koenig's. It's the same thing. It's all the same. It's all the infomercial, right? It's the same thing as what Russell Brunson's teaching in Perfect Webinar. It's all the same. It's the same process. And you're basically, getting people personal and you're letting them know that you're a person, you understand them, you get them, and that you can help them. And you just send them straight to the checkout. Because if you look at this, like if you watch over like an infomercial,
Mm-hmm.
you don't send people to a sales page. They
Yeah.
send people from the infomercial to the checkout. So
Mm.
so because the infomercial is the sales page.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so in your case, the webinar would be the sales page. And so
Yeah.
that's where you're going to skip the course, you're going to skip all that. Now, you want to make it worth your while. So you can't do a webinar for anything less than, and I don't think you're talking about doing this less for anything less than for $500. But I think
Yeah.
I Yeah, I don't even think
Um,
you're so long as you're not
well,
talking about, yeah, go ahead.
well, hold on. Um, I thought I was gonna do this like hour-long webinar for free because that's my sales page. And then,
Oh yeah,
oh,
no,
right. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
I got
no,
it.
it is. I'm saying what you sell.
Yeah.
So what your offer is going to be. It
Right,
just
right,
can't.
right.
I don't think it'd be cheap. Right. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, yes, because it'll be a minimum of 2 months, 2 to 4 months is the core work. Although I have thought about, well, what if they don't know me and trust me? Maybe I should offer like a taster, a one session taster or a 2 session taster, and then say, well, the core work is gonna take 2 to 4 months.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Yeah. And I think Jim was talking about free workshops, and I think you should be doing those regardless, right? You should be kind of training just like I'm doing right now.
mhm,
Whether it's a Q&A or whether or not you should be out there some kind of way, like
mhm,
every week, once a week, like clockwork, and you should be doing something. Right? That's not
mhm.
going to be your sales webinar, right? Um,
Oh,
so something. It can be a training, it can be like a meetup, it can be something. And that's in addition to whatever your content is. If your content's going to be like your blog or your podcast, whatever the case is, YouTube, whatever, that's one
mhm.
thing. But then your weekly workshop, that's that needs to happen too.
Can I just clarify terms? Because from my understanding, a workshop is in a live interactive thing where I'm teaching and they can ask questions, whereas a
Right.
webinar can be automated and you just kind of talk, like give a monologue. You just spew a lot of information. So is that your understanding as well?
It's all semantics. When I
Okay,
say workshop, I mean you're in front of people and it's free. So whatever
right.
you want to do, and really, it really depends on what they want because
Mm,
some people and sometimes it's what they want from you. So um uh I could I could probably do a number of different things on this call. It just depends on what people want from me. And I know a lot of people, like there's a guy, his name is Cam. He does something, he's been doing something called index card insights. And people love this stuff. And he's doing it on YouTube. And I think he's a good dude. He holds up his index card and he's kind of going on about some kind of concept that wouldn't work for me. But it works great for him, right? And I think it's awesome. So it's something. So some of it is like, what do people want from you? So and it's all like I don't want to make it into a black box or a mystery thing, but a lot of it really is just figuring out what people want and doing it enough, doing it, and that's why the weekly part is necessary because you have to come back at the same time in order to figure out what people want because you need to come back and this is like it has to be like every Tuesday night at 7, every
mhm.
Tuesday night until you figure out what people want from you. And then once you figure out what they want from you, you keep doing that. You send them from that to your webinar call where you're going to pitch them. You send them there from there to the pitch, and you start sending people. I think you send people to your workshop, from the workshop to the pitch. Right now, you could send people straight to the pitch, but I think you let them hear you. And then you say, hey, on Thursday night, we're going to do this thing. I want to tell you about something special I'm doing. And then you pitch them. Direct response, classic. You just you just go for the sale. And then you send people from there direct to the checkout. No course, right?
So
And
it's not,
and
it's, yeah, it sounds like you're telling me to do a two-step process where it's a workshop, I'm interacting with them, and then I say to them, "Hey, I'm going to be doing something else over here on another night. Come to that," and that is a sales call, and I send them to the cart. Is that right?
yeah, you're just giving value. Like I'm not
Yeah.
selling you all anything right now. I'm just
Mhm.
I'm just here. I'm just talking. We're talking about internet marketing. I'm here to kind of whatever, right? So this is for anybody that comes, and this is just to give. Now, when I'm ready to pitch, right? I'm not training. I'm training people how to be a good customer. Because that's what you're going to be doing on your direct response call. You're teaching people how to be a good customer. You're letting them know if they really want to get free from whatever it is that they're suffering from. How do you be a good customer? You become my customer. That's how you solve your problem. I am between you and the end of your problem, is what you're saying on a direct response call. Training call is just just you being you. It's just so they can see, hey, Santu's here like every Tuesday night, and when people come to that training every night, they'll feel like they know you, and they will know you, right? They'll know you because you're there like every week, and they'll know. Now, I know some people say that if you're too familiar, then that could be a problem. I don't think that is. I think if you got to give people just enough to let people know who you are, that you're trustworthy, and the way and I think that the way it works in people's mind is the fact that you show up every week at 7 on Wednesday night. The fact that you do that says you can be trusted. It communicates all by itself. It doesn't matter what you do on the call. It's the fact that you're there every Wednesday night at 7. Because when you're online, I don't know you. I don't know where you're from. I can't come to your house. You know what I mean? But you know what? Hey, you know what? There's something about that you physically embodied yourself every Wednesday night at 7, like clockwork. That helps people overcome the trust factor online, that they can't, they don't know you. They don't know you from a campaign, but they know you because they see you every whatever at a specific time. So I think that the weekly workshop, I call it a weekly workshop. I think the weekly thing is important because it speaks trust. And that's the number one thing when nobody knows you, or when everybody knows you, right? Especially, we know each other. We have a very small market, as you know, I'm sure. Very small number of vendors. We don't have a big market. And you can either separate yourself by having something big and flashy, if that's your personality, or you can just be trustworthy.
Yeah. Okay. That's really helpful. Thank you. So either the training call or the sales call. They're two different things.
They're two different things.
Yeah, and what you're saying is that I should be doing both.
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. And then my final question. Having said all that, do you know of any PLR websites that specialize in kind of mental health that sell slide deck presentations, or I could just read and record a course if I wanted to? Don't know if I do, but yeah, mental health slide deck.
You know what?
Awesome.
I'll do a little digging about that. If you send me a support request, I will do a little digging, and I'll find the vendors.
Okay. And what's the best email to send it to? Support. What's the rest?
Support, just to support, regular support. Yeah.
Is it at Mindshare?
Yeah. Support at gainmindshare.zendesk.com. And I know you're an Ultimate Insider, so anytime your email comes through, I bump it to the top. So, yeah.
And I'll tell you specifically what I'm looking for in the email, because it'll be around trauma, but I can get granular if that's helpful to you in finding something appropriate.
Be as specific as you can.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Oh, great. No welcomes. Let's see, Jim. Can I unmute Jim? Yes, I can unmute you, Jim. Let's see. Let's see
All right, could you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, this is awesome. This is so cool. Now, I'm going to tell you way back, the real guys. Do you know any of the real guys? Do you remember them? And you know who they are.
Yep.
Okay, so way back in the day, they used to, well, what did they used to do that? Somebody used to do it. I don't know, but they would just like unmute you and you asked your questions.
Hmm.
And
I remember that.
actually, I don't think it
Eric
was
and
them.
Paul. No,
Yeah,
it was
Paul.
Eric and Paul. Yeah.
No,
Yep.
no, Eric Homeland, Paul, and the other guy. But I think I was the one that asked them, hey, can I just get on the mic? And because it's kind of complicated question, but I used to get on a webinar. Oh, I remember it had something to do with the thesis theme, the guy, Rick Anderson. And routinely you would just get on like this. And most people just did the typing thing that you were doing. And it will be interesting if we can use this format like this, because I don't know, it was fun
Sure.
listening. And like Santu can just keep going back and forth. So I just wanted to see if my headset works and everything. Also,
You're fine.
but I wanted to say this. Your advice to Santu was great, but I'm going to share how great that advice was. If somebody asked me, or if somebody asked Santu if we would pay Charles Harper $497 for a course on whatever the heck you want to teach, and if we needed that in our business, would we pay you $497? It's like, if I actually need what you're teaching, not just oh, that would be fun to learn, but like, yes, I need to learn how to drive traffic. Yes, I need to learn how to build my email. I need to learn how to create PLR. Absolutely. At this point, me and Santu would be like $497, boom. You know what I'm saying? Because we know we're going to get our money. You know, we'll get the value back. The point I'm
Hmm.
trying to make is, like you're saying, when you do, the reason we would both say yes, because the old adage, you got to know, like, and trust somebody. And at this point, we know, like, and trust you. So if she does that every week, if she just gives away, that free webinar and the answers
Hmm.
question, just like she says Charles is the man, people are going to be like, yes, Santu, she knows. Boy, she knows everything, and she's caring, compassionate. I
Hmm.
want to work with her. So then when they get on that sales webinar, if you even want to do that, but you're like, hey, look, when they get on that sales webinar, they're already ready to click the buy button. They just need to be
Hmm.
convinced, because they already know you. They like Santu. They know she knows what she's talking about. They know that she's got the knowledge to help them solve their problems.
Yep.
They just need to see, okay, what am I going to get exactly? Do I get the recordings of the weekly training? Am I going to get a PDF with it? Whatever. So I think that is just a great strategy that you just outlined for her. I just wanted to share that.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. And just so you'll know, Jim is going to be doing AWeber crash course on the 19th. Be watching for my bonus. All right. I think I said that last week. I'll say it again. Okay. Anybody else? This actually work. Anybody else have a question and you need me to unmute you? Just write in. I mean, we can do this. That's fine. This actually works very well. Let's see. Dr. Medley. Okay. I need assistance in constructing a sales funnel from beginning to checkout. Can you help? Yes. Um, okay, let me kind of Dr. Medley, I'm gonna give you a kind of a bird's eye view of the funnel if you're going to use PLR, and I'm just gonna kind of give you a basic structure. It's not necessarily going to be uh gonna be something that you would use all the time, but just the basic science of how you would construct it. The front end product, right, is the introductory level. It is the basic level, right? This is assuming that you have a list of people who kind of want what that product basically does, right? You're going to send them to the sales page. Let's say they buy the first front end offer. The second offer, depending on how you want to make it, needs to be kind of a no-brainer addition. It can't the first product has got to answer a problem, right? It's got to answer the first question. All the back end product does is add to that. So you don't want people to feel like, well, you should have just sold me this whole thing from the first place. Well, no, it's got to be such that it's a no-brainer and it's an addition. The next upsell is, um, is some kind of template. So in other words, it is a way of giving people a fast start. It is, how can I go faster? The first upsell is, how can I enjoy this more? Right? That's the way I say it. So however you structure that first upsell, it says to people, you are going to get more out of this if you do this. The second upsell is, I'm going to help you go faster by giving you some templates. It is basically DFY templates in some way. Again, this is just structure, basic way to think about this. Not going to work in everything, but it's basic. The next upsell, again, this is just the classic funnel theory, is, how can you keep your results? You're going to get this result. How are you going to keep it? You're going to keep it by either, number one, joining me by paying me a monthly payment, some kind of continuity, or getting in with some kind of, or taking that continuity, boiling it into one thing and making it high ticket. So that's kind of the classic way to think about this. That and you're stepping up in price. Now, some people play around with the numbers, and there are people who look at those things like a lot more carefully than I do. But I think you're stepping up in terms of number, and that last thing is going to be either monthly or it's going to be big, one or the other. And then you can always downsell from there into something that's going to be a little smaller, like kind of like a light version of that big thing, but not, you don't downsell from the monthly. So that's how I would think about it, right? So that's the general sense. Now, if you're going to take a PLR product and you are going to turn it into something where you're going to need a funnel, you need a technical system that will move a buyer from the first purchase to the second purchase. You can do that on Warrior Plus. You can do that on JVZoo. You can do that on Thrivecart. You can do that on any system that's like that. And basically, all the system itself is doing, and you got to have a system that moves people from that first offer to that second offer if you want to do it like that. What some people say is that they don't want to move people through a funnel like that. They don't like that. It makes them uncomfortable. So you can put all your upsells on the thank you page. I can tell you right now, it's not going to work as well. What you can also do is you can add a bump offer, right? And the bump offer basically says, when somebody comes to the checkout, you say, if you want, you can also get this along with this one thing, right? I do that, right? I add in, typically all of our front end offers also include our new marketer workshop, because it's a logical addition to that. All of our back end, all of our DFY Live Masterclass, I also include now the hackathon, because it's a logical addition. So you can also do the bump offer on top of whatever your offers are. But generally, for the PLR product, getting people into the front end is crucial, because then you have a buyer, you put that buyer on your list, and so the funnel is basically the technical system moving a buyer from that offer to the next offer, right? That's all the technical system does. The reason you use JVZoo or Warrior Plus is because affiliates trust it. So if somebody, whenever somebody comes to me, and it has nothing to do with Mark Thompson, I don't know Mark Thompson personally, I do know of him, but he runs Pay Kickstart, right? So Pay Kickstart, when somebody comes to me and they've got a product on that network, I don't promote it. And it isn't because it's probably not an awesome product. It's just because I don't know that system. I don't know how to get paid from it. I don't know when. I can't quite tell when I log in how I'm gonna what I've earned. And so it could be an awesome product, but I just don't do it because Again, because I don't, and that could just be me being deficient. Now, if somebody's going to watch this on YouTube, they're probably going to send me something and correct them. I'm happy to be corrected. I'm just saying personally, I would not promote anybody who has a product there, not because they're not awesome or even because the system doesn't work. I just don't know how to operate it. Warrior Plus, I know how to operate. I can look at Warrior Plus every day. I can type in something and I can figure out exactly what I'm earning in commission in real time. I can go to JVZoo today, right now, and figure out exactly what I'm earning in real time. Very easy to do. And so even if those systems are not perfect, I know what I'm earning. ThriveCard is another one, right? So ThriveCard allows you to run your own private affiliate program. So all of those systems allow the buyer to make a purchase and then move from that purchase, if they buy it, to the next purchase. So what you have to have is a system that moves people, a system that allows you to recruit affiliates, right? Right, it makes it easy for the affiliates, where the affiliates trust the buy button. I will say that if you're going to operate outside the make money online market, then you don't need JVZoo Warrior Plus. You could use something like ThriveCard, because then you're not getting people into the make money online market, right? Making money online space. So that I don't know if that helps you, right? Let's see. So Jim's question is, would you mind explaining what the hackathon course is about? Okay, so the hackathon is really about remaking products with AI. So how to use AI to remake PLR products. I think I'm going to finish that up this Tuesday. It's going to be last session. I did a session last Tuesday about how to just take AI and create a book from a video. And so I'm going to wrap it up next Tuesday. It's supposed to be 4 sessions. It's turned out to be 7. I don't want to go 8 sessions. Like it's supposed to be 4 sessions, and now it's 8. So no, I'm going to end it Tuesday. And so yeah, so it's basically how to remake a product with AI. How to remake a PLR product with AI. Dr. Don, right? Dr. Donald, did that help you? Dr. Medley? Dr. Medley's on the web, so maybe he might not be able to get back to me fast, but hopefully that helped you, Dr. Medley. Okay, what time is it? 7:58. Good Lord. Okay, so everybody, this has been very, very good. I really appreciate that. And let's see, and see if I can unmute you, Santu. Okay, yeah. So Jim, what am I launching next week? Midjourney, right? So I will be doing Midjourney. Okay, go ahead, Santu.
Okay, I just want to quickly respond to you saying Midjourney. I was on a training today where someone was trying to teach me about Midjourney. Absolute catastrophe. Like, I mean, she had ADHD and like she was taking me all over the place, and I still could not. I put in a prompt, nothing happened. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So you better be granular in your step-by-step process on this training, okay? It's a minefield. I don't use Discord. I'm not a gamer. And it's so overwhelming visually. You just don't know where the hell and apparently you have to go to the newbie section first. I messed up on finding the button on clicking terms of service. It took me to a page I didn't know how to go back. It was an absolute disaster. Anyway, just a little.
I got you.
There.
I got your back. I got your back.
So thank you. My other 2 quick questions are the email that you sent today. To tell us about this. Just above that, you were talking about a YouTube video for the some kind of platform that we get as insiders. Mm-hmm. Is that for Go High Level?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was the Go High Level system.
Yeah, and so we can create our own sub account for that, and that is a payment processor.
Well, no, you can't. No, you have a sub account. You can't create sub accounts.
Right. Yes.
So,
yes.
So it's a platform for you to sell your courses. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have you set it up, or do I need to set it up?
I'm pretty sure you wrote me and I set it up. But if you when you write in, just remind me, and I'll check to see if I've set you up.
Okay. And that's a payment processor, a membership, a video hosting. It's everything, right?
I
You don't
don't,
know.
well, no, I do. I don't like for people, I tell people not to use them. I tell people to keep using their payment processor
Oh,
because
I have one.
yeah, okay, well, what is something you got to do anyway, right? I would not use Go High Level. It's just, I just, if you don't have to, don't.
Why? Is it complicated?
It's if you have one, see, because Go High Level, what it does well for us, right? Most people are using it when they use a sub account, they're giving it to small business owners, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the small
Mm-hmm.
business owners are using it to sell stuff and they
Mm-hmm.
connect their Stripe or their PayPal or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it's for, right? So the sub account is really to sell products and services. You as an internet marketer, you will be constrained by that platform and you will need more freedom than that platform will allow you to do because you're going to be doing a lot of different things. What I
Right.
would do is to deliver people into it as a membership platform. That's what it's great at. And the fact that you don't have to get hosting for your videos. So the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you can host your videos there and your customer can
Okay.
go there and watch it, get a login and password, well, that puts you ahead of the game because you're not paying for that, right? Because if you have to go get Vimeo or some other platform, you'd have to do all that and deliver all that yourself. Well, when you use a platform, you can deliver people into a place where they can go watch videos, download stuff, and get stuff. Now, in terms of like recruiting affiliates, it's not there yet. So
Mm.
I would opt for a processor that easily allows you to do some of the things I just talked about, which is show people, show your affiliates exactly what they're earning, bring in partners, and a high level system for us, right? Maybe not for people who don't know what we know, but people like us, we do too much for that platform, for us
Mm.
as information marketers. So what it's
Okay.
good for is to deliver people into a member area where they can buy, and you can do some really cool things with a member area. I'm going to be training on that, but
Oh,
I would
great.
not use it, right? I would not use it. Like I wouldn't connect my Stripe, I wouldn't connect my PayPal and do all that stuff. Then I would, because they've got communities coming out. So in other words, in another 15 days, you're going to have connected to your account, you're going to have the ability to create an online community. So that's going to be an added plus, right? So you can add that community portion onto the where people get their courses.
Mm-hmm. Oh, like an app system kind of thing?
Just like I have with Circle. Like when you go to
Okay.
Circle, that's my community. Well,
Yeah.
you're gonna have that kind of piece in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would not start with their system because it's too constraining.
Okay. So don't connect your PayPal or Stripe to them.
Correct.
Okay.
That's what I'm
I want
saying.
I want to offer you some. So let me ask this first. Yeah, no, actually, I won't ask that. I'll just let you know that there's a new platform out called PayHip,
Mhm.
Payhip. Have you heard of
Yep,
them?
I've heard of it.
So they are an all-in-one. As far as from what I've heard, they're an all-in-one, and they're a payment processor. They've got a cart and all that. And they only charge 5% for the free plan. They just take
Mhm.
5% of whatever you sell. And I
Yeah.
think for the paid plans, it's like 1 or 2% or something like that. Is that a good deal? Is
I
five
think
five
JV
too
Zoo's
high?
at 5%, per transaction, and I think so in terms of if you can recruit affiliates, right? That it's
Mm,
kind of like JV Zoo Warrior Plus. Now, if you're talking about you putting courses there, it could be, right? But I like to be a little independent. I don't like to have anything in any one place.
yeah.
So you could, again, kind of deliver your stuff. So, okay. and I will kind of give you like my bird's eye view. So I have things backed up in Dropbox. So if anything ever happens to Teachable and somebody can't
Mm,
get a course, I can go right now. I can go get a video link and I can send it to people who have bought the course if Teachable goes down. So that's my backup.
mm,
I have
mhm,
my videos in Teachable, right? And that's where people can watch it and download the PLR. Um, I have my payment processor primarily in Warrior Plus because I can recruit affiliates there. If I
mm,
want to, if that affiliate system ever goes sideways, I can turn on the affiliate system, and I am going to do that. So I'm going to give Ultimate Insiders opportunity to have a special affiliate program. I can open that up specifically for Ultimate Insiders, or I can open it up for anybody. So I've got an alternate affiliate program. So I've got independence, and I'm paying a little more for that. But anytime something goes sideways, you know, I'm kind of ready. So I've also got my WordPress sites.
mhm.
So if I had to do a sales page over there, I can do them. So that's where I do my sales pages. So I prefer to be
Yeah, diverse.
right in case anything goes
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah, that's smart and clever. And so can Warrior Plus be connected to your WordPress website?
Yes, yes, it can. Um, yeah, well, it's complicated. It's complicated.
You know, when I'm on my deathbed and people ask me, what did you regret most in your life? I'm going to say having an online business. It is the most complicated, nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life.
What it is it's 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 um it's longevity. So in other words, you just got to stay in it long enough to
Yeah,
work out the bugs so you understand them. So, you
yeah.
know, because I have a system now that works for me. If somebody came behind me, trust me, I'm trying to tell my wife what I'm doing, and and you know, yeah, you know, she's like, what are you doing? Nobody can be able to figure out your system except for you. But it takes a
Mm,
long time to be able to like put it all together where it makes sense in your brain. If you try to explain to me what your system does, it won't make sense, right? So it just takes you got to stay with it long enough so as you get things working so it all makes sense. That's
yeah.
all it is.
And can you have two payment processors? Can you hook up Warrior Plus and PayHip to your WordPress website?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, and they won't
Yep.
like clash with each other or miscommunicate with each other or anything like that? Awesome.
Yep. Yes,
That's
ma'am.
really good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I may not even need PayHip now. If I can use my payment processor through WordPress, or sorry, Warrior Plus, and I can put my courses and videos on your subdomain
Hmm.
with Go High Level, I may
Hmm.
not need PayHip.
You may not. Yep. Yeah. If you go through that onboarding course, I think I might have explained that, but if not, just you know, I'm doing some videos these days now, so just let me know, and you know, I will put those videos. I'm doing a series now, so you know, this would be a good time to let me know.
You mean the onboarding for Go High Level?
Hmm.
Okay, so you're doing a training on how to do that. Okay, great.
Yep.
Great. You're gonna do one for Warrior Plus as well?
I've got a I've done 60 videos on Warrior Plus.
Whoa. I do not have time to watch 60 videos. You're gonna have to signpost me.
Right. Yeah. I think that the way to do it is, and I have not finished this portion yet. Um, I'm gonna have all of my courses in searching, and then what Ultimate Insider is going to be able to do, because I'm gonna have it so that it's a paid feature, so that you could go to a search bar and you could
Yeah,
type in Warrior Plus and all of my videos on Warrior Plus, you'll be able
yeah.
to find them as well as what you're looking for. Again, so I do have it. They're all in
Mm,
search. What I need for right now is, and I'm actually actively trying to find it. My daughter's coming in this weekend. I might pay her to do it, is to really organize it so that I can finally open it up to the Ultimate Insiders so that you could go there and you can find those videos very easily. So I'm working on
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it'll be much easier in Searchy because it's a struggle for me to find anything on, is it Thinkific that you're on, or no,
Teachable.
Teachable. Yeah, that
Yeah,
whole
it's not,
platform, what a nightmare to find
yeah,
anything.
right. It's not made for, it's just made for course by course. But when it comes
Right.
to Searchy, that's going to be a lot easier. And like I said, I'm only going to open it up, that portion open to the Ultimate Insiders so that you can find any of my courses and go there
Yeah,
and just watch the video you want.
brilliant. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you
And
know
be sure
what? It's 8:11, and so I am going to take off, everybody. And you're probably tired of hanging out, but I appreciate y'all hanging out. And let me mute you up here, Santu. So everybody, I appreciate y'all hanging out. Man, it's been good. And let's see. Dr. Don says, would you assist an individual like myself? I'm not gonna in constructing a sales funnel from getting the checkout. If so, how do I work with you? Okay, so I think I've got 2 more spots in our personal coaching, and I think I just said in an email that this is about to go up as soon as I'm not sure as soon as, but it is going up. So let me put this. I think I put it here. And okay, so here's the coaching. And here is and then here's also the email. Here's my support address. gainmindshare.zendesk.com. And then the support email, support@gainmindshare.zendesk.com. Okay, so any one of those. I'm also going to put these in the chat. Let's see, where's the GoToWebinar chat? Okay, so let me send those here. And I'm going to put these in the chat also. Okay. Okay, so I think I've got everything here. And so with that, again, man, I really appreciate y'all hanging out with me so long. And so, yeah, if this is helpful to you, then we'll do more of this. And, you know, I'm happy to unmute you if you've got a question. And I'll do the best I can to answer it. Sometimes I'll have an answer. And sometimes I'm guessing. So, okay, so on Monday, I teach in my local area. So I'm going to open that up to Ultimate Insiders. I will soon make that available to Ultimate Insiders. So yeah, yeah, I do a webinar. It's primarily for my local area, but I will open it up. And I'm really teaching in a broad sense to people who know nothing about PLR and online business, like how to create a digital product. And the point of it is, you know, here's how you use PLR. So it's really basic. So I'm starting out with them really basic. You all are like grizzled veterans. These are really basic people. All right. So, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate y'all being here. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.